Hello everybody, this is Technoli, and today a computer that a lot of people have been waiting for. This is an i9-9900K on an Gigabyte Z390 Designare with Thunderbolt built in. Is that beautiful? Beautiful board. Now this is your high-end stuff right here. I've got a Sapphire Pulse. This is a Vega 56 graphics card in here. Don't need to have it, but it's for most things, but it's certainly nice. As you can see, this is just a beautiful board. Beautiful board. And what's cool is I'm going to show you right out of the box here, while I've got the camera out, I'm going to show you that the sleep mode is working. So I set in the settings, I set it to go to sleep in 1 minute. So as you can see now, it is asleep. And before the fans were spinning, right? So now I'm just going to wiggle the mouse and I'm going to show you guys the fans start to spin. So wake up works and it doesn't reboot. You know how some of these things, they'll reboot automatically and you're like, oh God, nothing works right. So there we go. Sleep, it goes to sleep, it wakes up, no problems. All right, now the exciting part. I've got a little external hard drive right here and I'm going to plug it into the Thunderbolt. Notice on the screen right now, there's nothing there. There's no external hard drive. So let's plug it in. Okay, and we'll go right back over to the screen. And there it is. Thunderbolt working, guys. Both ports work. There's the other port. There it is. So this one was a little bit of a bear, but we got it working, guys. And you're going to like this one. We're going to do the complete install. I'm going to show you everything from A to Z. Let's get started. Okay, guys, real quick, I want to run Geekbench 5. Let's go ahead and run this. And when this is done, we'll come back. Okay guys, coming down to the end here. Now I'm also going to do Cine Bench, and then I got a special treat for you. Logic Pro X benchmark. So stay tuned for that. We're going to get through these benchmarks and we're going to do the complete installation on this one. And remember guys, I'm running OBS in the background on this, so I'm recording, screen recording while I'm doing these tests, which really isn't a great idea, but it gets you pretty close. I think I was at 1240 on the single score and about 8190 on the multi-score without OBS running, but it's close enough to show you here. So pretty impressive. So what do we got? We got 1178. So we're right here with this iMac i9-9900K. That makes a lot of sense. Let's look at the multi real quick. So yeah, we had 8048. Right there is an iMac Pro Xeon at 8066. So we're right here. The same numbers. Now remember, I'm running OBS in the background, so I'm losing a few points. So we're specking right with Mac Pros and iMacs. Okay? All right, let's do Cine Bench real quick. Now, when I ran this the first time, if you look over here, I had a score of 4878. Like I said, we're running OBS in the background, so it's going to cut a few points off, but amazing numbers. That's right under a Ryzen Threadripper
1950X. Yeah, my fan is spinning up a little bit, so it's feeling the pressure. Usually I pause these videos and come back until this is done, but this is so fast I kind of wanted you to see it. I'm going to be doing a benchmark with this computer with a lower end graphics card just to see if there's any major difference. And if there is a major difference, I'm going to do a video on it. But because this right here is the Sapphire Pulse Vega 56. All right, coming down to it. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, 4476. So I lost a few points because of my OBS software running, but these are amazing numbers, guys. You know this. This is just a powerful machine. Let's get into that Logic Pro. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to test Logic Pro X on this system. I downloaded this Logic Pro benchmark test from the internet, and it loads in 128 tracks. And what is on every track is, I'm going to show you up here. Okay, so it's got a MIDI track. So over here you see we're running a MIDI channel, we're running EQ, multiplier, chorus, auto filter, reverb, and we also have a limiter on the stereo bus. So I'm going to go ahead and go here and custom bar and show meters. Okay, so now we can look at all of our 8 threads and 8 cores. So let's go back here, and we're running right now. We've got turned on 24 tracks. Let's see where we are. Okay, well, nothing. No big deal. We can do this all day long, every day. Now, I'm running right now, just so you pro guys out there know what's going on. Let's see. I am running at 124 buffers. Now, you say, oh, well, of course, 124 buffers, that's easy. Let's put it down to 32. Okay, let's apply changes, and let's see what happens when we play it back. So we had a little bit of a boost, not much, and not bad at all. So, what do you think? You say 24 tracks, I can do that in my sleep. Well, let's go ahead and go to, let's double it. 48 tracks. Let's turn those on. Okay, let's go back here. Now we're still running at 32 buffers. So we're not even quite to half CPU usage. We got a 1 core here that's barely talking. So not bad, right? Easy peasy. This computer will do this all day long. We're at 32 buffers. Let's jump it up, guys. Let's jump it up to, what do you think? 70 tracks? 70 tracks? All right, still at 32 buffers. Okay, we've climbed the 50%. We're over 50%, but no clipping, no glitching, nothing. Everything is wonderful. We're at 70 tracks. All right. Now my CPU fan just came on, so it's starting to talk to it a little bit. All right, let's go down here. Let's just jump on over to 96 tracks. Okay, let's turn them on, back it up. Still at 32 buffers. Now we're getting up there a little bit. We're probably at about 70%, I would say. But 96 tracks, guys, 32 buffers. All right, let's go ahead and max it out. 128 tracks. 128 tracks of MIDI. So this is playing a virtual instrument. Plus, we have all of these sends on here. All right, here we go. 32 buffers. Okay, we're not quite maxed. I'm getting no warnings, but that's pretty heavy. 128 tracks, nothing is bounced. All right, let's stop and let's crank this up. Let's say we're just doing a mix. So let's go ahead and put these on 1024 buffers and see if that makes any difference. We got 128 tracks going on right now. Okay, we definitely have our peak when we first turn it on. You know, really, there's not much difference on the buffer settings. So I'm not getting any warning. It does look like I'm maxed out except for this one core or thread. I am totally impressed. This is a Hackintosh. This computer is going to be around $1,000 to $1,200, okay? You don't need high-end graphics for audio, guys. You know that. We could put in an RX 580 in here or an RX 570 for 120 bucks. That's all we would need. You could probably run your onboard graphics. Now, let's turn off about, let's go down to, let's say 120 tracks. And see what that does. That's a little more of a comfort zone. We're not peaking. We're going in and out of peaks depending on what's going on. But amazing. I could spend all day with this test. It's fun. But I just wanted to show you how well this thing performs with Logic. I'm going to do another video that's going to test Adobe Premiere on this system and the Ryzen system, the $700 Ryzen 5 3600 that we did. And we're going to look at the different benchmarks between Logic and Adobe Premiere. All right, let's get started with this build. All right, enough with the benchmarks. Let's get on with it. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys real quick how to format the USB stick and how to load the Clover on it and do it from start, because I'm getting a lot of people that are asking me questions that, you know, I understand this is complicated and I want to make it as easy as possible for everybody. And going back and forth between videos, it can be a little cumbersome. So we're going to go ahead and show you everything. I am going to give you my EFI folder in the description below. You're going to go to my website and download it just in case you run into troubles. But I really want you guys to learn how to make your own EFI folder, and that's why I'm going this extra step to show you, okay? So let's, first of all, I've got this old USB stick here. It's got Mojave on it. Let's go ahead and erase it. We'll go to Utilities. We'll go to Disk Utility. And then we want to go down here and Show All Devices. Now here's my SanDisk. I always use SanDisk. I don't know. I've just had really good success with them. And a lot of guys say, what kind of USBs do you use? And I say, well, SanDisk. I get them on Amazon for pretty cheap money. Okay, so click Erase. And I'm going to name it USB. I want you to name it USB. All right, and keep it on Mac Extended Journaled and GUID Partition Map and click Erase. Okay, we're all done with that. So here is my USB. Now, I'm going to go over here to the internet and I'm going to search for make USB bootloader Mac. Okay, and right here, this website, just go down here and we're using Catalina, so let's grab this text all the way to the / you don't need to put my volume, okay, and just copy that. Go out of the internet, go up here to Spotlight and type in terminal. All right, there we go. Now go ahead and right click and paste that line of text into here. Then we're going to add USB because that is what we named our thumb drive. And hit enter, put in your password and say yes and hit enter. Now this will take about 20 minutes depending on how fast your computer is. Now make sure, guys, whatever computer you are making this USB stick on has the Install macOS Catalina in the Applications folder. If not, it's not going to work. So if you're on your friend's computer or whatever and you don't have this in here, you have to download it from Apple and get it in your Applications folder, okay? All right, as soon as this is done, we'll come back. Okay, we're all done here. There it is. So we can go out of here, and here is our newly formatted vanilla USB boot disk. So let's go over here to Clover. Now you download this from the internet. Just go to Google and just type in Clover Configurator download. And this one's fine. First one that pops up right here. And you can just download it right here. Okay, so go ahead and double click on Clover Configurator. Now what we're going to need is Clover Bootloader. So let's go over here to where it says Install Update Clover. Click Save to Desktop. We're going to save the program to the desktop and check now. Okay, so there's a new version. So we're going to go ahead and click Update. Yours is going to say Download, and then it's going to pop it up right to the desktop. Okay, then go ahead and click Continue, Continue, Continue. Change install location. Very important. Click on that, and you want to make sure you select your USB. Click Continue, and then Customize. What we want are these first two boxes checked, and then UEFI drivers. Go ahead and check Recommended drivers. File system drivers. We want APFS driver loader and VBox. And then we'll go down here to Memory Fix, and we're not going to use any of these because I'm giving you a special one for this particular build. Okay, it's downloaded in the description. So we'll finish that later. And then nothing under Fall Vault. Additional drivers, go ahead and click on Partition DXE and install RC scripts on target volume. Click Install. Put in your password. And here we go. Okay, we're all done. Now what we want to do is go ahead and close this out. We've got now this EFI folder. This is or EFI partition. This is a hidden partition, but it's still on our USB. So double click on that. Double click on EFI and then Clover. And then what I want you to do is right click on config.plist and open with Clover. Okay. Now, something that we need to do is we need to install our Kext. So click on Kext installer down here and then change this location. See, what we have here is we've got the EFI folder right here, Clover, and then Kext. And if you look in this other folder, there's nothing in here. And that's why we need to go up here and select Other. So these Kext that we're going to download go into this folder, because we're going to need them to boot, right? So we want Lilu, Virtual SMC, whatever green. Apple ALC is for our audio driver. And this motherboard has an Intel Ethernet, so we want to select Intel Mousy. And go ahead and select on Inject All USB. Go ahead and download. You can go ahead and put in these sensors and install. And we are done with that. All right. Now, in the description below, I'm also going to have in the EFI folder that I'm giving you, just in case you run into problems, you're going to have this config.plist. Okay? And I want you to just use my config.plist in your USB. So go ahead and remove this one, move this one to the trash, and grab this one and stick it in here. All right, now we are just about done. In this folder also, you're going to need to go under drivers and UEFI, and you're going to need to grab this OSX fix, okay? And that's going to go into your USB in here, and this is so the computer will boot. And one more thing we have to do. From the EFI folder that you downloaded, we also need to go under Clover, ACPI, and under Patched. We need to copy these SSDTs onto your bootable USB, okay? So Clover, ACPI, Patch, and just grab these and copy them onto your USB. That's for our Thunderbolt and everything to work properly. That's it. We have built the bootloader. So let's leave here and let's go into the BIOS and let's get this thing installed.
Okay guys, let's start tapping that delete key to get into the BIOS. All right, here we go. All right, so Gigabyte. Let's go over here to favorites, and we're going to make sure secure boot, CSM support disabled, secure boot mode is standard, and VTD is disabled, okay? Tweaker, we don't need to worry about. Settings, I want you to put everything exactly like you see it here. If you don't, it just won't work. Okay, so there is that screen. I don't think I changed anything on that. Let's go to I/O ports. So we are using a PCIe graphics card. So we've got the internal graphics disabled. Wi-Fi is enabled, but it's not going to work. So we can disable that. Everything just like you see it here. Thunderbolt configuration has to be just like this or it won't work. And then down here under discrete Thunderbolt configuration, we want these settings, and then under here, we can leave it just the way it is. All right, escape to get back. USB configuration, everything is enabled. Network stack, disabled. NVMe, doesn't matter. SATA configuration, we're of course making sure we're on AHCI and we have our controllers enabled. RAID we don't need to worry about, and the controller down here we don't need to worry about, okay? All right, make sure up here guys, above 4G decoding is enabled. I almost forgot that one, sorry about that. Okay, let's go over to boot. And you can set this up however you want. First boot option, let's just pick our SanDisk so we don't have to worry about it. But down here is really important. Right here we've got these settings, and we want to make sure other OS is selected. And then CSM support is disabled like we did in the first screen. Secure boot is also just like the first screen. So now we go over here, save and exit setup, and say yes. All right, now on the Gigabyte, F12 is the boot, is to select your boot device, and I always like to do it just to make sure I'm on the correct thing. All right, and there it is. It's my SanDisk. So we'll hit enter. Everything is set up correctly in the big.p list so we can see verbose mode. So we just want to make sure that we're on the boot drive, okay? And just hit enter. We'll go through a lot of text on this one. This one takes a little bit of time to boot the first time. And we'll come back when it gets to the next screen. It'll feel like it's going to be stuck on that line right there. It takes a little bit of time for it to pass that forcing CS runtime for entitlement.
It feels like it's going to be stuck on that, but it gets past it. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Finally get past that first apple. Go ahead and select our language. All right. Now we want to go to Disk Utility, click Continue, and go ahead and select over here like we did before, Show All Devices, so we can see our hard drive. Okay, there's my hard drive. I'm going to erase it. And you call it whatever you'd like. I'm going to call it Cat Designare. Okay. And then APFS, File System, GUID Partition Map, and click Erase. That's a quick one. All right, we'll go out of here and click Install macOS. Now remember, if you get an error here, a box that pops up and says your file is damaged, it's because your date is wrong, right? So we'll go over here and we'll go to Utilities and down to Terminal, and we'll type in date, and we'll look at our date. Okay, so my date's correct, but how you change that is just enter date space and then put in the month, the day, the time, the hour, by the way, the minutes, and then you want 20 for the year. And that's it. All right, so we'll go ahead and quit terminal, and we'll go back to installing the OS. Agree. There's my hard drive. We'll click this. Now, when I first did this, it gets up to about, I believe it gets up to about here, somewhere in here. And it'll reboot on its own. Don't worry about it. It's supposed to do that. It doesn't go to the end. And leave your USB stick in there, okay? So when this reboots, we'll come back. Okay, it says about 3 minutes remaining. Let's see what's gonna happen here. And there it goes, right at 2 minutes remaining. So leave your thumb drive in there. So we need to boot from it again. You don't have to hit your boot menu. Just wait for the screen to come back up, and we'll select now the hard drive. Okay, so we'll go over here to boot Mac OS from Cat Designare. Hit enter. And let's see what goes on here. Now this will go a lot faster, of course, because we're on the hard drive now, not on a USB stick. This is a great time. This is a fabulous time to subscribe to the channel, guys. We are already past 600 subscribers, and I swear, in less than 30 days, we've gained 500 subscribers thanks to all of you guys. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun for me and a lot of fun for a lot of you guys. We're teaching you how to do these Hackintosh computers. If there's a certain setup that you want me to do, let me know. You can also send me your motherboard for me to hack too. So we got a lot of options. Go to technoli.com. You can get a discount on parts that I've already tested. And we got a lot of things going on. Okay, so it says here about 12 minutes remaining. And let's see what happens here. Okay, it says about 2 minutes remaining. So let's hang in there. Oh, about 1 minute remaining. Let's see what happens here. All right, so it went all the way across, and it's going to automatically restart in 3, 2, 1, boop. Leave our memory stick in there. We still have to get it all the way booted up and get files transferred to our hard drive before we can pull out the USB stick. Now we're going to come up again and we're going to boot from the hard drive. Okay, and it's already selected, so we'll just hit enter. Okay, it gets stuck on a couple of lines, but it goes past them. Woo, that comes up quick. Let's see. Yeah, here we are. Okay, let's pick our country. Okay, here we go. And we can continue. Don't want to transfer anything. I do have my Ethernet cable plugged in, and but I don't want to sign into Apple ID right now, so I'll skip. We're going to agree to terms and conditions. Go ahead and name it, guys, whatever you'd like, and put in a password. All right, continue. And then, you know, I like to enable location services and turn off analytics. Continue. Enable Siri, sure, why not? Okay, what's going to be? Light, dark, auto, light, dark, auto, light, dark. It's pretty, isn't it? Okay. Let's go ahead and identify our keyboard. Okay, we're done. Now, let's go up here to our USB drive. And we've got Clover Configurator. I forgot to tell you to save it to your thumb drive, but if you didn't save it, it's okay. You can just go to the internet and download it again. Let's just throw it out here on the desktop. Now what we need to do is we need to get into the hidden EFI partition on the USB and transfer it to the hard drive. So let's double click on this. And in order to see the hidden partitions, we have to click Mount EFI. This right here is our USB, and this is our hard drive. Remember, Cat Designare? So we'll mount the USB. Okay, and there's my EFI partition. And we're going to mount the hard drive. And then click Open Partition. All right, notice there's no EFI folder on the hard drive EFI partition. So we're going to click on this one. There's my folder. I need to drag it and drop it into the hard drive EFI partition. Now we can boot the computer without any problems, without having that USB in there. But first, I want you guys to go into Clover, right-click on config.plist and open it up with Clover. And remember, we are going to change serial numbers. So come down here to SM BIOS, and we've got iMac 19,1. We'll go ahead and click this right here, the double arrows, and we'll go ahead and select it. Okay, iMac 19,1. Now I want you to go ahead and generate some new serial numbers, okay? Then what I want you to do is copy this serial number. Just right-click, copy. Then I want you to count back 5 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then highlight this section and then paste. Okay, now we have a new board serial number. Now we can't just generate SMUUID number for our iMessage and Apple Store and all that to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to Spotlight and we're going to type in terminal. Okay, and in terminal, I want you to type in UUID gen. All right,
So there's the number that we want to copy and put into our config.p list. So we'll copy it, and then we'll put it right here. All right, perfect. Now go ahead and save. Exit out of here. Say OK. All right. So we are done with that. Now, another thing that we want to do is, a lot of guys have been asking me, how do you get rid of that text when you boot up and just let it go right into the operating system without seeing anything? Well, let's go back to the config.p list again, open up Clover, and we're going to go over here to where it says boot. And I want you to get rid of this, just highlight it and click the minus. And then I want you to change, this will be set like this. I want you to change this timeout, and if there's nothing in there, if it's like that, put a 0 in there. Okay, that's how many seconds. Don't click fast, because that can mess you up, and hit enter. All right, now let's save, exit out of Clover, and let's restart. And there it goes. Isn't that beautiful? It looks like a real Mac. I love it. But it boots up faster than a real Mac. Okay, guys. Hey, like I said before in the video, if there is anything that you want to buy, any of my parts, or if you want to buy a complete system even, we can take care of that for you. Be happy to. The more parts that I sell, the more of these different systems I can do. So if you're interested, just go to my website, technoli.com, and shoot me an email or whatever you want to do. There's some parts on there for sale right now that have already been tested and working. Okay, thanks so much. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and we'll see you on the next one.